It is Brent Harding, and welcome to the Wealth Warrior broadcast. Today is July 29th, and we are live, and I am thrilled and excited. This morning, I am fired up about our brains. And this morning, we're going to talk about train the brain because we can train our brains for success. And it's just sometimes we need to be reminded that that's what we can do, that we can cause our brain to get so fired up that it's looking for successes on a constant. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today. Again, my name is Brent Harding, and I am the host of the Wealth Warrior broadcast, and I am glad to be here with you this morning. Before we get started, we need to do. Everybody knows what that means, right? Can I put it right there? Can you see it? We are broadcasting both on the Wealth Warrior channel and also my personal channel. And so I want to say good morning, Gerald Hulen. I am glad that you're with me, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right. So I'm going to try it one more time. And I'm going to say, Gerald Hulen, I am so glad that you're with me this morning. Train the brain. I have the privilege of not only being the host for the Wealth Warrior broadcast, I am also the producer of an award-winning women's conference that is coming to Boston on September 30th. You are able to go up to www.e3powerup2017.com and you can get details. You can also get your VIP tickets. There are only, and I say approximately 10 tickets remaining for the VIP group before we hit general admission. VIP group and I'll be sharing details about that with you during the broadcast. With that being said, we're asking you to hit the share button and share this broadcast with everybody that you know. Bring them into the fold. We want more people in the Wealth Warrior community. Why? Because the community is about creating wealth. It's about making connections so that when you need help, guess what you do? Phone call. You put the word out and people respond. And that is powerful. And we become a community. We do business within the community first before we go outside of the community. That makes us powerful. And we're going to train our brains so that we think community first. So what do we have going on for today? Well, we've got some shout outs and we've got some mentions. We've got early riser trophies to announce because there are folks that have some bragging rights. During segment 1, we're going to be talking about train the brain, creating opportunity to expect results. Then we're going to go on and we're going to share some announcements with you, and we've got announcements to share. From that point, we're going to go into segment 2 and we're going to get specific about training the brain. And then we're going to talk about E3 Power Up in terms of sharing with you what's going to be happening, not to take away from the third Saturday of the month when we bring aboard both the Platinum Ambassador, Robin Tennille, as well as our Media Ambassador, Pamela Stone. So we're not going to take away their thunder. But we're going to go into segment 3, and that's going to be create opportunity and expect results. And from that point on, we are going to follow up the show with a recap and make announcements relative to next week. That is our show, already written down. So without further ado, let me begin by sharing some shout outs and mentions. I want to give a shout out to our newest Wealth Warrior Ambassador. Her name is Regina Jones-Jenkins. Let me rephrase that and say it again. Regina Jones-Jenkins. Try saying that 3 times. I want to welcome her to the fold. She is officially a Wealth Warrior Ambassador. You have the opportunity to meet her at E3 Power Up on September 30th. And again, congratulations and welcome aboard, Regina Jones-Jenkins. I want to give a shout out to one of our members who is leaving the state of Massachusetts, moving to the great state of Oregon. Her name is Shannon Byron. We will certainly miss her in Massachusetts. We are sending you love and kisses. She will be departing us very shortly. She'll be heading out, I believe, August 1st. So we want to say, Shannon, we'll miss you. We love you. And guess what? We now have a person in Oregon that is part of the Wealth Warrior community. So we're glad about that. We want to express our sorrow to Alice Williams, who had a major loss in her family. Please send your love and kisses. It happened earlier in the month. However, we want to acknowledge our family. If we hear that something has happened, we want to make sure that we're sharing it with the community. So she actually had a loss of her mother. So if you have an opportunity, I would greatly appreciate it if you would acknowledge and send her some love. Want to share and give a shout out to Chantel Bethea. Chantel Bethea is the executive director of Women in Action, and she has an event that's coming up on August 7th. It is a fundraiser for this organization, and it is a dinner cruise. I am going to be there, and I really hope that you will support this event and join in. You can go up to the Women in Action Facebook page, look up events and click come on board. It's going to be fun. A dinner cruise. That's always nice. And then want to give a shout out to Betty Speaks, who recently received a certification. She is an incredible woman, and she is receiving certifications in the healing environment around spirituality. So I want to give a shout out to her, show her some love. You can show it right here on the broadcast, or you can go up to her page. And then last but certainly not least, want to give a shout out to somebody that is 80 years wise, and that is Robert Randolph, who I understand is sharing his wisdom, has been sharing it every day. It was day 5 when I looked on Alice Buka's site and saw he was on day 5. And I think that the 80 years wise, he is acknowledging with a feast, because I have never seen what is it? It's a sundae, but a banana split rather. I have never seen a banana split that large. Bob, really? However, 80 years wise. With that being said, let me make some acknowledgments, and let me say, Robin Tennille, she is tweeting, not tweeting rather, she is actually posting in my personal Facebook page. Thank you, Robin, our Platinum Wealth Warrior Ambassador. Also want to say good morning to Cedric Dumas. I appreciate you being with us. I'm going to continue to acknowledge the folks that are with us and show the love and appreciation. Thank you for showing love and appreciation and being with us to train the brain. But before we get started, we got bragging rights. I'll tell you, I am so enthusiastic. The bragging rights were snatched this morning. So I'm going to start off by sharing with you that the bragging rights going out domestically are going to Sharon Nix. Sharon Nix is an event planner. She hails out of Belmont, New Hampshire. She is an event planner that I'm really excited about because of the way, the style and format that she does event planning. It is unique. I am going to encourage you to go up to her site, reach out to her, communicate with her, and it's just a different strategy, a different take on event event planning. So I want you to go out and show some love to her. She gets bragging rights as the national trophy holder. We got bragging rights internationally with Alice Buka, hailing out of Panama. Hailing out of Coronado, Panama. I want to share the love to the both of you for getting up, being early, right there on time, so that you can participate in the broadcast and you can snatch the rights. You got them for a week, ladies. Honorable mention goes to Keisha Hampton. Keisha Hampton, you get honorable mention. I'll tell you, it was neck and neck with you and Sharon. She just beat you out by a hair. Want to say thank you to her. Also, I want to say that Keisha has definitely put a post in the Wealth Warrior broadcast, in the Wealth Warrior Facebook page. I really do appreciate that. Thank you very much. very, very much. Want to once again say, please share with your friends, your family. Let them know we're talking about Train the Brain. Also, I am extending an invitation to you to join this tribe. We are a powerful tribe. We are consistently growing and we are looking to add community members. All you have to do is go up to the Facebook page and say, join. We will invite you into the family. Now, during the week, it is a closed group because there is information that you will only find on the closed group page. So you want to be a part of that. Once a week during the broadcast, we open it up so that we can usher other people in, invite them in so that they can participate. We're growing a community internationally. So to that end, I want to again reiterate, we need your support by becoming members of the community. Join us. We're great. We're terrific. I want to give a shout out to our sponsor, which is CB Unlimited, and that's Cecilia Oh my goodness, I can't believe I'm having a brain burp. I'm going to leave it with CB Unlimited. CB Unlimited is a tax consulting service, Baderis. I'm going to practice this because I can't believe I've had this brain burp. So Cecilia, please forgive me. However, do know that I am letting everybody know that you are sponsoring this broadcast and we are honored to have you with us. She is also a sponsor for the E3 Power Up Women Entrepreneurs event. September 30th. We're excited. We're going to share more details about that. But she is the sponsor for today's show. We really do appreciate that. I'll tell you what, she put her money where her mouth is. And as a result of that, we are enthusiastic and most appreciative. And thank you tremendously. With that being said, let's talk about today's broadcast. And before I do that, Connie Joseph! Woo! I'm telling you, if you ever want a champion in your corner, Connie is a champion. I just appreciate and adore her tremendously. Thank you for being with me, and you are magnificent. With that being said, what we are talking about today is training our brain to create opportunities and expect results. You know, when we were children, our parents trained us. They shared with us the rights and the wrongs. They told us the things that we needed to do so that we could be successful in school, that we could get those A's that we were looking for, and we fought to get those A's. I mean, it was like rock 'em, sock 'em to get those A's. We specialized. We had particular subjects that we liked, whether it was math or it was science, whether it was English, whether it was social studies. We fought for those A's. Do you remember that? Do you remember fighting to get the A from the teacher? And if you didn't get the A, you wanted to know why you didn't get the A. You did the homework that was necessary to get you the success you were looking for. And at that time, what was the success? The success was the A's. The success was the B's, the B pluses. And if you got a C, then that was not success. It meant you didn't do what was necessary. You didn't fight for it. You didn't work hard for it. And then something happens. Along the way, we grow up. And we get our degree, we get a high school diploma, we get the degrees we're going after, and we figure we don't need to train the brain anymore. We don't feed the brain the proper nutrients that it needs to avert Alzheimer's, to avert brain issues. Our brain needs to be exercised. It needs to hear from us. And many times we don't realize that because it's not a topic that comes up very often. But the reality is our brain needs to be trained. It needs to be exercised. And it needs to be exercised often. Do we have a reading regimen? Book you read? What's the last audio book you heard? The brain needs stimulus in order for it to keep functioning and moving. So are you training your brain? That's my question for you. Want to give another shout out and a welcome to Lisa. Hello there, ma'am. How are you? Lisa Love. I appreciate you being with me. Training the brain is today's topic. You know, I went to an event last weekend, and what was interesting was during this 3-day event, which was extraordinary, and it was a spiritual event. What was magnificent was the amount of video that they intertwined in the content of the presentation, in the content of the talks, in the content of the speakers. So what would happen is you would have content, you would have the speaker, and then probably you'd have about 12 minutes, 12 to 15 minutes of pure and unadulterated verbal content. And then there would be a cut-in, and the cut-in would be to a video. The interesting thing is the video could be 30 seconds. What was powerful about that 30 seconds is it switched your brain, and suddenly your brain went, and it engaged. So before your brain could get tired, could get sleepy, could get distracted, it was engaged. Powerful. Very, very powerful. Want to give another shout out. Oh, Ava Ferguson, love you, darling. Thank you for being with me today. Really do appreciate you joining in. Thank you so much. So let's talk a moment. Whoops, before we talk, I got to make some announcements. I want to stay in keeping so that you know what to expect every time you see the broadcast. So let me share some announcements. First and foremost, on Friday, the first Friday of the month, I, along with the tribe, will be at the Boston Speaks Series event, which will be at the Hatch in Boston. The Hatch is in the Fenway section of Boston, 400 Park Drive, and it is an event that you want to be at. Kit Pang does an extraordinary job in bringing entrepreneurs together. On average, there'll be about 400 people that will actually register on Eventbrite, and guess what? About 200 people will show up. That is manna to entrepreneurs. That is a groundswell in which you get to interact with entrepreneurs. You get to test out your speaking skills. You get to test out your presentation skills. You get to attract people. I am so appreciative of this event. It is like a main staple for the tribe, for the Wealth Warrior tribe, and so many of us attend, and it is extraordinary. And so you want to be in part with us. When we get in there, we're sitting in the front rows on the left-hand side. As soon as you walk in, you go up, you see the seating, left-hand side, front row. We are there. We are there. And it is an event that really, when we say we need to network and we need to be inspired, guess what? You have it there. That's on August 4th. Boston Speaks Series. You want to be there. Make sure you look for me when you get there so that I can give you a seat to join the tribe, because we are an event in an event. We got something special happening for this particular event on August 4th. On August 7th, as I mentioned previously, Women in Action is having a dinner cruise, which is a fundraiser. This is an incredible organization. It hails out of Worcester, Massachusetts. It is about helping women in many facets of their life. It helps with women who want to get started in business, women who want to advance their careers. I implore you to support Chantel Bethea. She is one of our own. So very definitely support her. Next week, I will have the actual date for an event that is being hosted by Regina Jones Jenkins, who, as you know, is our newest Wealth Warrior Ambassador. So I will follow up and share that one with you. Want to share also that this upcoming week, we expect no later than August 4th for the BSH company's website to be up and running. Who is BSH? None other than me, Brent Harding. So I expect that to be up and running. I will very definitely share the news with you. Have an awesome web designer. She has been extraordinary. She says that she has been gifted with the talent, and it shows. So I will be sharing a little bit about her next week as well. Want to let you know and remind you that the Wealth Warrior broadcast for the month of August will be on the 5th, the 12th, the 19th, and the 26th. So again, August 5th, August 12th, August 19th, and the 26th. And August 19th, you will not only see myself, but you'll also see Pamela Stone and Robin Tennille. And that is our announcements. Once again, share and join the Wealth Warrior broadcast channel. Join us in our community because we've got content to share for you, and the content is just going to get better and better. Want to make sure, yep, I've said hello. Chantel, you are with us. And Chantel, please put in the feed more details about your event coming up on August 7th. I want to help be a catalyst for raising funds for your organization. So will you do that for us? We'd appreciate that tremendously. So what are we talking about? We're talking about training our brain. And one of the ways that we train our brain is we celebrate the successes when they happen. You remember when you were a child and you lost a tooth. What did you do? You probably put it under your pillow and you said, I hope mommy and daddy is going to reward me because I'm growing up and now I've got a new adult tooth coming in. And you were so excited. And when you got something from your parents, you know what happened? Your brain connected with what you were rewarded. In fact, some of y'all went out and actually probably pulled a few teeth out. You might have pulled a couple of teeth out that didn't need to be pulled out. There's no need to pull them early. They're all going to come out because you need your adult teeth. But some of us got overstimulated and inspired. Well, the celebrations, one of the things that happens as an adult is that we do not celebrate enough. We do not celebrate the wins sufficiently. And we have to celebrate the wins because that is what trains our brains. That's what causes our brains to engage. And then our brains say to themselves, oh, this is how I win. This is how I get rewarded. And it's extraordinary because do you know something, that the more you reward yourself, and it doesn't have to be large rewards. Heck, it can be going and getting a mani-pedi if you're a young lady. It can, gentlemen, you might see a tie that you had no reason to purchase, in that you looked at it and you go, well, you know, I've got X amount of ties, or I'm not going to pay that much for a tie. And yet when you do that, you fire up your brain to expect things. Your brain gets excited. Your brain gets enthralled because it's stimulated. Reading stimulates the brain. Now, when you read, do you give yourself a success? It can be something small. It can be a bookmark. You saw a lovely bookmark that you're going to put in that book. Why? Because your brain got excited. Your brain got stimulated. Your brain appreciated. We have got to train our brain. We've got to give it a stimulus. Please, in the feed, I want somebody to hashtag train the brain. Hashtag celebrate success. You know, far too often, we do not celebrate. We don't get excited, animated about the wins. And so our brain doesn't know when it's winning. You know, the subconscious doesn't recognize the difference between the rights and the wrongs. The subconscious takes everything in. And we've got to feed our subconscious appropriately. Now, I want to give a qualifier here, and I want to also give a disclaimer. I, in my past life, have been a CNHP, which is a certified natural health professional, and a kinesiologist. And I say this to you to say I'm not an expert. I'm not a brain expert. I am learned in that I got my licensing. And so to that end, I have some background. By all means, do some research on the brain and stimulating the brain. What I'm giving you is the content to move you to take action, to inspire you to take action, to cause your brain to want to engage. And I want you to come back and join us for more content. Make contributions on information that you find out about when you do the research. It is exciting to get the brain, to get those synapses cranking, cranking, cranking. Here's an interesting brain exercise to think about. When you are in a room, when you're with us on August 4th during that networking event, here's an activity. I want you to think about something and cause your reticular activator to go off. You might talk about financial investments, or you might talk about a stock, or you might talk about a vehicle, or you might talk about a technique, or you might talk about, hey, I'm going to go to a meetup. And then watch your brain. You might talk about networking. Watch your brain, the reticular activator, start hearing conversations all around you. You are engaged in a conversation with me. Your brain is listening for things. And when it hears things, the activator goes off. And in fact, it goes in the direction of what you've heard. I was walking home a couple of days ago, and I heard a CD, somebody playing a CD, listening in their vehicle. And I walked past it and I stopped because there was a word that was said, and I literally physically stopped in my spot. My activator went off. It heard something. So we train our brain. We move our brain. We do brain exercises that keep our brain engaged. Our brain is a small item, yet it controls our entire body. And it needs to be nourished. And, some of us nourish our body with vitamins. We nourish our body with brain vitamins, which is great, because that nourishes it from the point of view of the physical content, the physiology of the brain. Now we need to engage the synapse within our brain, and those synapses get activated when we are engaging, getting fired up, ready to go. Fired up, ready to go. Stop and think about it. When you come into an event and the music is pumping, what happens to your brain? It's moving, it's shaking, it's taking it all in. That's right, because music is a stimulator. What music invigorates you? What music enlivens you? Which one is it? Do you have some specific songs that cause your brain to go into a certain state, to have a certain thought process? There's music that we listen to that we may need to just cry. We might be frustrated and we need to just let the tears flow. But we can't seem to get ourselves in the place where the tears flow. So you know what we have to do? We might need some music that will cause that to happen for us, that will cause our brain to put us in an emotional state that will cause us to cry, to get the frustration out. That's a stimulus that our brain took in, and it caused us to have a physiology and a release. That is training our brain. We have the ability to train our brain for success, to get to the place that we want to go to. We have that capability. We are powerful. We are well created. Are we using our gifts and talents? That, in fact, is the question. So with that being said, want to take a station break? Want to encourage you to bring people into the fold Let them listen to the content and make a decision. I invite you, I implore you to bring others into the conversation. Have a dialogue right in when you're posting. Have a dialogue with individuals within the Wealth Warrior family right now. Have a dialogue. Start sharing your information. And then encourage folks to join us. Oh, Doctor, oh my goodness, Dr. Sikasat, it is great to have you. Raw Healing. Now, I have to share this with you. Raw Healing. Go up to her page. Go up to Dr. Sikasat. You want to talk about further dialogue about the brain? You got a doctor right there, a naturopathic doctor who knows what brain energy, what brain power, what brain herbs can bring to you. You've got the physiology and then you've got to stimulate it. And so I encourage you to go up to her site. Appreciate you being there very, very much. Thank you so much, Dr. Sikasat. Raw Healing is her Facebook page and the name of her business. And she hails right out of Boston, Massachusetts. And I'm glad to have her. So with that being said, once again, want to encourage all of us to reach out and share this broadcast today. Share it on another page. Share it on your page. And again, invite people to come into the family. We appreciate the community and we want to support the community. So let's talk now about specifics on training the brain. No, let me rephrase that one. Let me go one step further. Want to come back, roll back for a moment. And I want to share with you in my station break that I am an individual that believes in exponential growth. I believe that we can grow ourselves, that our brains, if trained properly, can grow us immensely. And if in fact you are a person that wants to create exponential growth for your business as you are for your brain, then we should chat. I invite you to text coaching to 617-438-7949, and I will have a 15-minute discussion with you about the coaching, what coaching will do for you and your business. I tell you what, it is amazing when you are firing on all cylinders, when you have exponential in that brain of yours. 15 minutes will be extraordinary. We will chat, make a determination on what kind of coaching do you need to get to your destination. Again, 617-438-7949. And all you need to do is say coaching. Put coaching in the text and I will reach out to you today. Exponential growth. If you're looking for exponential growth, we want to make that happen for you because that is what the brain wants and what the brain seeks out. What's the quickest path to get to where I need to go to? With that being said, let's go into segment number 2. Create opportunity. Creating opportunity and expecting results. When your brain is fired up, it's going to seek out opportunities. It's going to navigate until it hits the target. It's going to be a missile to the target. A missile to the target. I want to extend the experience that I shared with you just a few minutes ago. And what I said to you was that I was walking down the street. I happened to pass by a truck, and it was a delivery truck for one of our major deliverers. And the gentleman was taking a break, and he was listening to a video, an audio, and I caught a word in that audio. And because my brain is trained to create opportunity, I said, wait a second, I've got something in my trunk. Because I'm prepared. I have material in the trunk of my vehicle. I went to the trunk. I grabbed out a piece of collateral and I brought it over to him. Why? Because I saw an opportunity. There was a window. There was something that we could both connect on. And as a result of that connecting, it gave me an entree to open up and to walk over and say, you know what? I heard that you're listening to something pretty powerful. I like the content of what you're listening to. And I have some information that you may want to read that's in connection with the content that you're listening to. Do you think for one moment that he said, no, I don't want it? Of course not. Why? Because I connected with something that was important to him. I created an opportunity to have a dialogue. And it wasn't the dialogue about, hey, how you doing? It wasn't the dialogue about what do you do for business? It wasn't any of that. It was connecting with something that was of interest to him, creating an opportunity. And did I expect results? You bet I expected results. I expected him to take my information. I expected to be able to get a phone number and continue the dialogue. I had a minimum expectation. I had a maximum expectation because the opportunity was created. Hone in and think about that just a moment. Thank you, Dr. Ra. I appreciate you. Please, in the feed, share with people where they can find you. I appreciate it tremendously. Oh, Ava Ferguson, thank you for sharing again. Dr. Ra, excuse me. Dr. Sikasat, thank you for sharing. Oh my goodness, Ikram, thank you. You are back. Ikram Moshad, I appreciate you. You show up. And I thank you so much for doing that. Did you think about it for a moment? Did you think about it for a moment? I want you to just go into your head right now and think about opportunities that you can create. Imagine walking down the street and creating an opportunity to initiate a relationship. Creating an opportunity to initiate a relationship. I say that because when we create the opportunity, that doesn't mean go in for the kill. See, sometimes, especially when we are sales individuals and when we are entrepreneurs, we're ready to go in for the kill. No, we've got to go in for the relationship. Did we create the relationship so that we can establish a communication? You know, on average, how many times? Now, this is a question. This is a test. On average, how many touches, whether it's high touch or low touch, how many touches do we have to make with a person before we can ask something of them? How many touches do we need to make before we can ask somebody for anything, before we can make that offer? Now, that's on average. It doesn't mean that it has to be that way all the time, but it does mean that we need to be cognizant. We created the opportunity. We expect the results. What are we doing in between? We're feeding the opportunity. How do I know this? Because I've burned enough bridges. I've got enough expertise at what not to do so that I now got that I need to do something different. I got that. And I will tell you, for those of you that I burned because I went in for the kill, please, I beg you, accept my apology for burning that bridge. Oh my goodness. Going in for the kill. You know, stop and think about ourselves. How do you feel when somebody does that to you? And when I went into that sales modality, I wasn't thinking about that. I gave you a card. I shared with you what I got. Your eyes lit up. You must be ready. No, that wasn't the message. Their brain wasn't trained that way. Training the brain to recognize signs and signals, training the brain to test it out, to test things out before we go in for the kill. We train the brain to create the opportunities. When you go into a networking event, It is about what you're saying, what you're doing, what you're observing. Creating opportunity means we need to listen more and talk less. How will you know where the opportunity is at? How will you know which one is an opportunity if? And that becomes a part of our adult training. I've been there. You've been there. Most of us have been there. So now we're going back. We're hitting the reset button. And this time we're taking it incrementally. Incrementally, we're taking that. I hope that you're getting some nuggets and content, and I want to thank everybody that is showing some love. We are going to hit 200 views this morning. I just know that. I can feel that. You know why? Because I'm expecting results. Okay, with that being said, we're going to take a station break. I want to give you a few tidbits on E3 Power Up. First and foremost, I want to invite you to go to e3powerup2017.com. That is www.e3powerup2017.com. That is going to take you into the Eventbrite page where you are going to be able to get details on what is happening for the event. You are going to learn and understand that we have actually made a modification to the title of E3 Power Up. E3 Power Up is about women entrepreneurs. So we are now saying it is the E3 Power Up 2017 Women Entrepreneurs Conference. We are focusing in on women who either are entrepreneurs or want to be entrepreneurs. I will share this with you. The focus actually is on women that have been in business for at least 24 months, anywhere from 24 months to 10 years. You are going to get content upon content upon content. It is going to be extraordinary. As you know, we have Dr. Letitia Wright, who is America's crowdfunding expert. She is going to be flying in from California to be with us. You have yours truly. I will be speaking during this conference. We also have Kit Pang, who is going to be speaking. He's going to be our lunchtime speaker. It is going to be content, content, content. I share that with you. We are looking for one more speaker. I'm going to put some information in the feed regarding that speaker. I will give you the details about what we are looking for. So we have openings for one more speaker. You will be meeting our extraordinary, and I mean extraordinary ambassadors, our platinum ambassador, who is none other than Robin Tennille. Robin Tennille will be coming in from Michigan. And again, she is the only platinum Wealth Warrior ambassador. You will also be meeting Pamela Stone from Declutter. Pamela Stone is our media interview and co-host ambassador. You will be meeting her as well. You'll be meeting the VIPs. There are VIPs in the house, and they are hailing from the New England area. We are expecting some folks that are going to be coming in internationally as well. Details about E3 Power Up and getting your ticket are at www.e3powerup2017.com. You want to be getting your tickets now. We only have a certain number of a certain number of VIP tickets. One and done. There will be no more VIP tickets issued. You want to be in there because the event is extraordinary. You have the general admission to everyone. That's from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And then from 6:30 to 8:30, the VIPs have some extraordinary action, some advanced information that's going to be occurring. We'll be sharing that with you on August 19th, when both Pamela and Robin Tennille will be here, and we will have other ambassadors for you to meet. So that's E3 Power Up. Get your tickets now. Buy your tickets now. Do not wait until the last minute. I had some people say, well, you know, Brent, I'm going to wait until the last minute and then I'll get the VIP tickets. No, you won't, because they won't be here. I'm sharing with you right now, they won't be here. With that being said, I want to go into our last segment. And our last segment is about expecting results. Expecting results. When you have created that opportunity, you want to tie the opportunity to an expectation. See, that sometimes we leave it open-ended. It's like an open-ended question versus a closed question. A closed question is a yes or a no. An open-ended question leaves opportunity for dialogue. And in this case, we want that dialogue to be, we want it close-ended in that we expect the results. We're not looking for the dialogue, we're looking for results. We're training the brain to expect that there's going to be a result. Now, we have to train the brain to understand that the results, we've got to tell the brain, what results are we looking for? What results are we looking for? I want to give a shout out and say, Cindy Taylor, welcome. It is good to have you. Thank you for being with us. Gary Washington, pleasure. Thank you. And Lisa, and did I say that right? I hope that I said that right. Rob. And so let me come in real close and say, Liz Rob. Thank you. I apologize. I think I might need to get these glasses adjusted because if I have to come in this close to look, that's a problem. When I train my brain to understand, don't be cute. You need the glasses, get the glasses. So let's go with the flow on this. You've created the opportunity. You expect a result. The brain the brain is about connections. It's about synapse. They connect. So we have got to give them a reason, a pause. We've got to give them a destination. If we do not give them a destination, guess what happens? They do not arrive. Or the results becomes dismal because the brain doesn't know where it is. Where do you want me to go? Where do you want me to go? Shall I go over here? Shall I go over here? Where exactly do you want me to go? Because I'm confused. I don't understand. We have got to train the brain to expect a specific result, or to at least expect result. Give it the best possible outcome. Give it the best possible outcome. So the expectation that I had was that to give the gentleman some documentation, to give the gentleman something that I wanted him to look at, that I wanted him to take in. I could have gone to the next level. What would the next level have been? The next level would have been, I'd like to have a further discussion with you. May we do a phone number exchange? May we do a contact exchange? I'm a texter. I am more likely to text you than I am to email you. I will not abuse or misuse my texting opportunity with you. Are you okay with that? Person's okay with that? Let's make the exchange. So when we go into the room, are we going into the room with the mindset that I'm going to create an opportunity? Before we enter a room, we need to know what it is that we are looking for out of that room. What do we expect? What are we going to do? And here's the deal. Let me rephrase this and say it this way. There is everything right about expecting results. There is everything right about expecting results. Hashtag create opportunity. Hashtag expect results. Define in your mind what the result is that you're looking for. You want to shed weight? Then create the opportunity for your brain to understand, I want to shed weight. I want to shed weight. Work with your body. Work with your brain so that your brain knows, nope, we're not going to eat that. Nope, not going to do that. I am going to do this. Train the brain. And I'll tell you what, it's interesting. When I went to CNHP school, and that was back in 2008, one of our doctors said that for women, it is, well, for anybody, in particular for women, it is not good for our spines for us to cross our legs. It is not good for us to cross. When I say cross the leg, not cross the ankle, but cross the leg, where that leg is over the other leg. It is not good for our spinal cord. It doesn't cut off, but it lowers the flow of blood to our extremities. And we did an exercise in that classroom setting in which our brain, which we worked with our brain uh, to install a new habit. Do you know, and no exaggeration, and I still marvel, it's been 9 years later, 17, 9 years later. Yeah, okay, I had to think about that. And whenever my leg starts to do that, my brain is immediately triggered. One and done, doesn't happen. It's been 9 years. I am now on a quest personally, and I hope that you are too, to start installing in our brains that power. Because I am amazed, 9 years. And now when I think about it, if I had installed all of these sooner, where would I have been? Where would you be if you infused in your brain, those triggers? I'll tell you what, now I'm on a path of exponential growth because I got to do it a lot sooner. I got 9 years to make up. What do you have to make up? Interesting, isn't it? I want to give a shout out and a good morning to Mr. Ed Gaskin. It is wonderful to have you in my arena, in my environment. Thank you for being with me this morning. Appreciate it. We are going to do a recap of everything that we've discussed today. So I'm going to do it one more time. Invite folks in for the recap. We've got a lot of recap to do. It has been an amazing morning. Today, we talked about training our brains, getting our brains fired up, getting those synapses fired up, fired up, fired up, fired up. That is something that is such a necessary. It helps to avert Alzheimer's. It helps to slow Alzheimer's down when our brain is fired up appropriately. When it is working on all its cylinders, we have time to create and make that happen. I want to share with you that our show was sponsored by Cecilia Bardelas, I got it right, from CB Unlimited Tax Consulting. She is an extraordinary woman, an extraordinary connector, truly believes in helping people. I have come to have a great respect and regard for her. She runs a responsible tax service. Want to, again, give the shares and the mentions that Chantel Bethea has an event. Chantel Bethea is the executive director of Women in Action that is having a dinner cruise, and that's going to be on August 7th. It is a fundraiser. It is our responsibility to support our community. So I want to make sure that we actually share that information with you. We had early risers. We have bragging rights. Bragging rights was snatched out. They were actually snatched out, and bragging rights go to Sharon Nix. Sharon Nix is an event planner from an extraordinary place, a different place of event planning. Go up to her page and take a look. Also want to say we have international bragging rights, and the international bragging rights go to Alice Buca, who hails out of Panama, Coronado, Panama. So want to say shout out to her. We have an honorable mention, and that was Keisha Hampton. She neck and neck with Sharon. She did incredibly well. We talked about training our brain. And we talked about training our brain to create opportunities, to seek out opportunities like a missile, a guided missile to hit the spot, hit that target. We talked about not only training the brain to hit the target, but to expect results. And that meant when we go into a room, what kind of results do we expect? Are we looking for results? Is our reticular activator going off so it hears something? and it responds, it reacts, it lets us know that we need to go over and touch that person, to go over and see that person. I will tell you that my reticular activator went off, which is how I ended up with a great woman that is putting together our E3 Power Up event. We'll be talking to her at next month, in fact. So we have to be about the business as adults to do the adult training so that we can garner the successes that we are looking for, because we're all looking for certain successes, whether it's entrepreneurial success, whether it's success in marriage, success in life. Whatever we're looking for, we can train the brain to manifest it for us. I want to say thank you so much to everybody that was on the broadcast with us this morning. Sherry Tucker Brown, thank you for being with us. Sherry is a friend. She is a supporter. She is an advocate. I appreciate her tremendously. We have announcements, so I don't want to miss out on those. August 4th, I will be at the Boston Speak Series along with Kit Pang. Our tribe, the Wealth Warrior Tribe, will be joining us. People like Juanita Grant, who is there consistently and always. We want to get the tribe from New Hampshire to come on down. Nancy Lewis Hill, want to get her to be there. Want to have Nika N. I'm going to learn to pronounce her last name. Awesome individual. So Nika N will be there with us, and several others will be there. Corey V will be there with us. And we're hoping that we can bring, again, New Hampshire to join us. Rhode Island, come on up and join us. That's on August 4th for Boston Speak Series. That'll be at the Hatch. On the 7th, as we said already, Women in Action has a dinner cruise fundraiser. I'll share details next week about Regina Jenkins' event, which is also happening in August. On between the first week of August, Brent S. Harding Companies will have her website up. I want to share that I've got an awesome web designer, and we're going to get her to share details and to create websites for you as well. Wealth Warrior broadcast for the month of August will be on August 5th, August 12th, August 19th. We have a special airing because that is the E3 Power Up update, and August 26th. Those are the announcements. Of course, the very special announcement is the name change or the name upgrade for E3 Power Up. It is now E3 Power Up 2017 Women Entrepreneurs Conference, happening on September 30th. You can go to www.e3powerup2017.com to get your tickets. So that is our show in full. Next week's content, you're going to have to look in the Wealth Warrior broadcast to get the information on next week's show for the entire month of August, what we will be focusing in on. Today was a little bit of a different departure, I know, and it's because my mind was thinking about what kind of things do I want to share, and it was just drawing. I had had a great experience around the topic of create opportunity, expect results, and I had to take a departure from the norm and say that I needed to share that with you. So today, you want to create opportunities. Yes. You want to expect results, and you want to go out today and be absolutely extraordinary. I will see you here next week, same time, same channel. Go out and be extraordinary.